Despite planet Earth having that name, actually about 2/3 of it is covered in water. And as it is easy to imagine, much happens and has already happened in these oceans since the time of the first navigations, when humanity first ventured into seas never before navigated. From ships and planes, treasures and many other strange things have been found underwater by divers and explorers. Since it's not just the Titanic and Jack that are underwater, we've listed 7 of the strangest things ever found at the bottom of the ocean. The last 2 curiosities will make your jaw drop. 1. Cemetery of locomotives. It's normal to hear about ships at the bottom of the sea, but what about trains? Paul Hepler found not one but several trains while mapping the ocean floor off the coast of New Jersey in 1985. The locomotives are rare Planet Class 2T models, which were only produced for a limited period of time. Weighing around 15 tons, they left the factory outdated, as the models of the time weighed around 35 tons. It is estimated that they had been submerged since 1850, although there is no record of the loss of locomotives. Experts imagine that the trains crashed while being transported during a storm, perhaps even intentionally, to ease the ship in May from the turbulent waters. 2. Lost civilization or burial of Matthew the Apostle. Divers discovered the ruins of an ancient civilization lost in Lake Issyk-Kul, in Kyrgyzstan, but more than an anthropological discovery, it is believed that the place could also be where the Apostle Matthew was buried. Explorers found more than 200 artifacts, including a piece of a bronze sickle, knives sharpening stones and various pottery that may have been from the Saka civilization, 2,500 years ago. Many historians believe that the Apostle Matthew was buried in the area of U200b Issyk-Kul Lake and an earthenware pot with writings in Armenian and Syrian. This could be the definitive proof, as he would have been buried along with several of his relics. 3. Alien ship? In June 2011, a team of Swedish explorers found something very unusual at the bottom of the Baltic Sea. About 70 meters long, the object has been called the Baltic Sea Anomaly, and looks a lot like the Millennium Falcon from the Star Wars films. Many theories surround the artifact. Some scientists say it could be a rock formation, or an Ice Age glacial deposit, and even alien material. What is known in fact is that the explorer team's equipment simply did not work near the object and it was necessary to move at least 200 meters away for it to work again. Very strange. 4. Treasure of emeralds. In 2010, Jay Miscovich thought he was going to fool everyone with the treasure he found at the bottom of the sea. He found more than 10,000 emeralds off the coast of Florida, USA, worth $500 million. It looked like he had hit the jackpot, but the case turned into a major court war. After great press commotion, a court order prohibited Miscovich from selling the stones. He, who was sunk in debt, ended up committing suicide. Sometime later the fraud was discovered. The emeralds were bought and placed at the bottom of the sea by the discoverer himself. 5. Stonehenge on Lake Michigan. In 2007, a professor of underwater archaeology was testing his sonar in Lake Michigan in the United States when he found a circular arrangement of vertical pillars about 15 meters deep. The stones look very similar to those found at Stonehenge in England, and if that wasn't enough, marks of animals extinct hundreds of years ago were also found. Drawings that look like mastodons, prehistoric elephants, were excavated in the rocks that no one can explain how they ended up there or where they came from. 6. The city of Alexandria. A major discovery was made in the Mediterranean Sea in 1998. Explorers found the ancient Egyptian city of Alexandria underwater, virtually preserved after being submerged for about 1,600 years. It is believed that it submerged due to various natural disasters such as rising sea levels and earthquakes. One of the most amazing things divers found was Cleopatra's royal palace. Marble floors, columns, ovens and basins, dressed limestone blocks, walls and statues of Egyptian deities that should have been part of the palace are jaw-dropping. Pieces such as a dark gray granite sphinx and an important religious statue that had not been seen by anyone in approximately 2,000 years were also hidden by the sea. 7. The mysterious sound of Julia. In 1999, a mysterious and frightening sound was picked up by the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, NOAA, its acronym in English, of the United States, in the depths of the Pacific Ocean. The mysterious sound, which lasts no more than 15 seconds and was named Julia, is very similar to a person's cry or moan. It's that kind of sign that plays with our imagination, considering that only 5% of all oceans have been explored by humans. NOAA researchers believe it to be the sound of an iceberg scratching the seafloor. But the human imagination still likes to imagine that it is some Leviathan or similar creature. 8. The first computer. Around the year 1900, in the wreck of Antikythera, on one of the Greek islands, what could be the first laptop created by mankind was found by chance. A group of explorers sought shelter there and decided to try their luck. They ended up finding several items of value, including what is believed to be the first type of analog computer, used to predict astronomical positions as well as eclipses. It consists of gears with triangular teeth similar to the inside of a clock, as well as a ring divided into degrees like a protractor that children use at school. The equipment dates from 205 BC and is currently on display at the National Archaeological Museum in Athens. 9. The disappearances of submarines in 1968. 4 separate submarines inexplicably disappeared in the same year. They were the U.S. Navy's Scorpion, a Soviet K-129 submarine, a French Minerve submarine, and the Indian Navy's Dakar. The last 2 submarines disappeared just 4 days apart from each other. The Minerve was never found, although it disappeared just an hour from its home port. Is it just coincidence that 4 giant machines misfortune in the same year, or is it something more sinister? 10. City of Atlantis. As Sebastian from The Little Mermaid said, the human world is a mess. So why not experience life under the sea? Some say that the lost city of Atlantis was discovered near the island of Delos in Greece. An entirely planned city was found with several buildings, courtyards and countless pieces of pottery. 11. The Kraken. Imagine everyone a school bus. Now imagine a squid that size. Not a very pretty picture, is it? In 1870, a giant squid appeared in New Zealand. Area residents reported that it was the same animal that had previously grabbed and sunk a canoe. The squid's mantle, that cone-shaped thing on top of its head, was over 9 feet, 2.7 meters, long. One scientist today concluded that this means that giant squid can reach between 6 and 27 meters in length. He says 27 meters might be a bit high, but he prudently asserts that 20 meters long squid is not out of the question. 12. Unexplained sounds. You know that feeling when you hear a strange noise in the middle of the night? Imagine that, but in the middle of the ocean. There are several unexplained noises that have been recorded over the years, with 2 of the most popular being the bloop and the Julia. These sounds must have been produced by very large objects, or possibly creatures, with most scientists believing the sounds to be large icebergs scraping the ocean floor. But what if it is not? If you liked the video, subscribe to the channel and leave your like if you want to see more content like this. Also follow me on Instagram that always has news, which is at Bernardo Kinda.